Hello everyone, my name is Simon from GTech. Really pleased to welcome you to this recording now of AI in education. I'm really pleased to be joined by my good friend and colleague Kiri Watson from Google, who's the head of HE as well as many other areas for Google. So today we're going to be talking to you specifically about Google's approach to artificial intelligence and how it can really benefit you as higher education institutions. So I'll hand over to Kiri, and hopefully you'll find this session both entertaining and also educational.
Oh, I'll try my best, Simon. Thanks for that very nice introduction. So the first thing that I wanted to do is just kind of ground ourselves a little bit in the past. So I just want you to close your eyes for a minute. You can pause the recording if you want to, but I want you to think back to 2006. Feels like a really long time ago now, doesn't it? And I want you to think about what phone you were carrying around with you in 2006. And if you're struggling to think about what phone you may have had in 2006, I'll give you a gentle reminder of the most popular phones of that time. I think for me, it was probably, I remember in our house, whether that was me or someone in our house having the Sony Ericsson, and I really remember wanting the Motorola Razr bit in pink, and I never got it. So it was a really cool era actually for mobile phones, but internet wasn't even added into the mix just then. So think about that for a second. 2006 doesn't feel that long ago. What else was happening? Well, this is the least embarrassing picture I could find of myself in 2006. And this was actually me in my first year of sixth form, listening to what I did have in pink was an iPod Nano. And you'll notice that the photo quality of this picture isn't so great either, because it was taken on probably a pretty rubbish digital camera. And if you remember, at that time, we were all taking digital cameras around with us everywhere we went so that we could capture the moment. And this is an example of that, of a picture that was on my digital camera at that time. But what I really wanted to focus on is, this is me in sixth form. I was studying A-levels, and because I didn't study business or IT, I actually can't remember having access to technology during my time studying. Very, very different from the world that we live in now. And I now work with schools, colleges and universities across the whole of the UK, and my team does across the whole of the world. Where they basically expect students to have access to a device for every single lesson, all day, and even for homework. So a lot has changed in terms of technology from that time. And also, to set the scene of what was happening in 2006, Google was an 8-year-old company. And you may recognize some of these logos. They have all had a bit of a facelift since then. And it was actually in 2006 in October where Google Apps for Education was officially launched. So some of you may be still calling it that. It's now Google Workspace for Education. And we've also had G Suite for Education in between that time. So a few changes have been made even at Google during that time as well. So why am I fixating on the year 2006? Feels like an odd year. Not anything to do with me, but really because the students that are going to be coming into your universities this year, this September, they were born in 2006. So 2006 is 18 years ago. And these are the students who spent possibly at least an academic year learning from home during the pandemic, probably accessing all of their education through a device in some kind of way. And they're the ones who skipped the Nokia 3310 period, right? They jumped straight to the first phones they had the world's information in their pocket. So their experience of education has been very different to what mine and potentially what yours was as well. So let's jump back into 2024, where we are right now. And you'll remember from our history lesson, we know that Google was born in the internet, right? 2006, think about it. And so were our products. So everything that we build internet first. So we're not thinking desktop first, we're thinking web first. And today we provide shareable cloud devices and collaborative tools built for educators and students. And they're all designed to open the door to innovation with access to powerful cloud-based technologies. And your organization might also be using some of these cloud technologies when it comes to Google Cloud. And so Workspace and the use of it has really evolved over time. Way back when, from when it was Google Apps for Education, these numbers probably weren't so big. But nowadays, 75% of university students actually say that they would prefer to use Workspace as their productivity suite of choice. And when you look at this sort of list here of the Forbes Next 1 Billion Startups, they all use Google Workspace as their productivity suite. It is industry standard. And I think that's something that, hasn't always been known in the sector. And 3 billion people all over the world use Google Workspace every day, making it the most popular productivity suite. So just some interesting stats just to kind of set the scene of where we've come to now. But today we're here to talk about AI more specifically. And I think what's really important to know is that whilst Gen AI is absolutely a kind of new thing, new kid on the block, we've actually been embedding AI into our tools for a really long time. So back in 2015, we started to add AI features to our tools. You may recognize some of these things like Smart Compose in Gmail, grammar suggestions is all powered by AI. If you use a Chromebook, the accessibility features are all powered by AI. So when we're talking about AI today, we're mainly going to be talking about Gen AI, but I just wanted to kind of nod to the fact that AI has definitely been part of Google's strategy when it comes to our tools for a really long time. In fact, nearly 10 years. But I think what's really interesting now is that for a really long time, when we've been working with universities and other educational institutions across the world, that we've been talking about this kind of like, wouldn't it be great if we could do this? Wouldn't it be great if we could do that? Solving some of our largest challenges. And actually, I think the technology has caught up with that now. And now we can start to see how this powerful technology can help us to realize our global education ambitions, and hopefully your ones in your organizations too. But before I go on to talk about a bit more about AI, just one thing to really note here is that back in 2016, we as a company were one of the first companies to introduce these AI principles. And basically it means that anything that's built, any AI tools that are built, created, added to a tool, we have to adhere to these principles. And this is what our development teams adhere to, product managers, etc. And so I think something to reflect on, that we need to make sure that anything we release is socially beneficial, but also AI, anything to do with AI, that absolutely has to be. And all of these other things in here, which we're not going to spend loads of time on today, but just be rest assured that Google are thinking really sensibly about how we develop AI. And AI really allows us to visualize our dreams and then dream and build bigger and better. And it's not just about generative language. AI can also help future leaders solve problems all around the world across all different industries. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples now. So before I jump into the video, I just wanted to just give you a quick overview about what this is. So you may have heard of DeepMind. You may have heard of Google Health. DeepMind has been working in artificial intelligence for a really long time. They are part of the Alphabet organization, and more recently been brought into kind of the Google business. But Google Health and the NHS in the UK has been working really closely together. And this example is specifically around helping the detection of breast cancer. So I'm going to show the video because it does a much better job than I will have explaining it.
Breast cancer is the commonest form of cancer that affects women and will affect 1 in 8 women in their lifetime. There's very good evidence that screen-detected breast cancer, that is breast cancer detected before there is a lump that you can feel, has a much better outlook. Women with screen-detected cancer are mostly able to be completely cured and will go on to be long-term survivors. So we really need to improve the way we can diagnose and treat women with breast cancer, and screening is the answer.
Breast screening has played a really important part in improving cancer outcomes across the world. Whilst this is the case, we face a number of challenges in providing the screening in an accurate and timely way. One of the most important of those is the availability of specialist staff to look at the mammograms. Breast screening is not offered across many countries, and we're very excited to be involved with this technology to allow access to breast imaging in a screening and symptomatic setting across the world.
At Google Health, we've been developing a set of artificial intelligence tools to help doctors, nurses, and other clinicians provide better healthcare for their patients. At the moment, we're focused on developing a set of these tools to support breast screening. The aim of this work is to improve the consistency of the breast screening programme here in the NHS. We've already published research that shows that our technology is as accurate as radiologists in detecting breast cancer. And so our next step is to see how it works in real-world clinical settings. And so we're delighted to be partnering with Imperial College London, Imperial College Healthcare NHS Trust, St George's University Hospitals NHS Foundation Trust, and the Royal Surrey NHS Foundation Trust to undertake this work to ensure that we are building safe, accurate, and equitable tools.
This research is an important step in the long journey to increase access to screening programs available to everyone and advance our goal of saving lives through earlier detection of breast cancer.
So just a really good example about how Google's working generally across the globe with different types of organizations and using the AI power for good. Another example is of how AI-based innovation has helped flood forecasting. So as part of our crisis response work, we've taken satellite imagery and public sources and used AI to help predict which areas may flood. And you can see a really good map of this on the screen there. And our models now cover places where over 460 million people live. And we're in the process of bringing these alerts to search and maps, similar to what you would have seen in COVID with the COVID alerts that were coming in during the pandemic. And basically, by doing this kind of work, we're obviously able to, it's helping us to reach as many people as possible, and obviously to help them to keep them safe. And also we can alert governments to risks that their citizens might be facing as well. So just some sort of broader examples about how AI can help some of the world's challenges here. But what I wanted to do, and you can test yourself and you can give yourself points here because I'm not going to know whether you got this right or wrong, but I want you to have a think about how many years did it take to get 50 million users of each of these different things here. So first is aeroplane, second is internet, third is YouTube, and fourth is Gen AI. Simon, have you got any ideas? I don't know if you've seen this slide.
I don't know. Should we see how off the mark that I am then in this particular? Aeroplanes, 50 million users, 60 years.
Good guess. Okay. Should we click as you go? Maybe that's a good way to do it. Very close.
That's not bad, is it?
Not bad at all.
Internet, 20 years.
Only 7.
Miles off.
Yeah.
Miles off. YouTube, 3 years.
I think you're getting the pattern now.
Yeah. Gen AI, I'm prepared to be blown by whatever statistic you come up with.
5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I know, and I just think, like, before we kind of start to think about AI in education, it's really good to kind of be humbled slightly by how technology has really advanced over time. And I think ultimately this could be argued that a lot of this is down to access. And we talked earlier about students having access to the world's internet, the internet and the world's information in their pocket. So obviously, as soon as a new tool comes out that's exciting and people want to use, they have access to be able to do that. Not everyone had access to their own aeroplane. So I think that could be arguably why some of these numbers are as they are. But yeah, if you got any of those right, you can give yourselves a pat on the back. No prizes awarded here, but I thought it was just a good thing to set the tone for when we think about our students and how they're maybe accessing technology. So what does this mean for your organization? We've talked a bit broadly about Google's AI strategy and how we're thinking about AI and supporting the globally different sectors. But what does it actually mean for education? Well, in higher education, we've done some research with many of our customers, and these were the top challenges that basically you told us that you had right now. So the 5 are increasing staff productivity, personalized learning, increase student employability, increase privacy and security, and reducing technology complexity and costs. And we don't have enough time today to go through each of these each of these things and go through how what product or what thing might help you to do that. But I think if we think more broadly about AI and technology in general, I don't think AI is the sole what's the word, Simon, I'm looking for? It's not the
Solution?
Yes, thank you. The sole solution to solve all of these problems, but I think it really can help you go a long way in doing that. So before we jump into this, we have some really exciting news about Gen AI and the offer that we've got for education. Now, for a while now, we've been asked a lot, what are we doing when it comes to Gen AI? What offer are we giving education customers? So we're going to be doing a little announcement now, and I'm so excited about this because it's finally the answer that we've all been waiting for. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Gemini, and then at the end we'll give you a bit of a demo on Gemini and what it can do and the power of it. But I thought just a couple of things just to sort of set the tone for this. So 73% of education and technology leaders say that the #1 tech enabler for 2024 is Gen AI. And I mean, that kind of goes along, this 5 weeks of 50 million adoption. You can start to see why Gen AI is a really powerful tool in that way. In addition to that, 75% of faculty using Gen AI tools believe graduates will need to know how to effectively use these tools to succeed in a professional setting. Now, you might be using these in your job, using Gen AI in your job already, but imagine the students going into the workplace and how that's going to evolve even in the next couple of years. They absolutely are going to need those skills to be able to use it safely, appropriately, and also be able to evaluate and make sure that what the information that they're getting is right. And 65% of university students would like training on AI tools relevant to their future career. So as we know, it's about using these things in context. And we're now in the Gemini era, and you heard me refer to DeepMind earlier. So as I said, DeepMind, we're a separate company within the Alphabet umbrella. They now are part of Google, and it's called Google's DeepMind. And for a really long time, they've been developing AI and the way that we use AI and our models to solve some of these challenges like the ones we saw earlier with the NHS. And so what we've been able to do is essentially take all of their learning, take all of the things that they've been doing really well, and now give these out to the marketplace and allow people to start using them how they want to. And I think what's really exciting about this Gemini era is it's not just about text to text, right? It's about this multimodal environment that we're seeing in Gen AI, and obviously that is only going to improve and get better over time. So really, really exciting about this sort of multimodal stuff going on as well. So why are we doing this? Well, as we said earlier, AI can really help you to solve some of your problems. It can help your staff to save time on some of those kind of menial tasks that maybe are taking up quite a lot of time. It can help students to have a more personalized learning experience. It can help you be creative. I know that me personally, I'm definitely using it when I'm trying to create a new keynote, or I want to create a really nice blurb that I want to send to someone about some of the cool stuff that's happening at Google. It's just given me those creative ideas that I can then kind of lift and shift and manipulate it the way that I want to then put out. And it's saving me a lot of time, but it's also given me ideas that maybe, maybe I'm feeling a bit tired that day and I'm not feeling very creative, but Gemini is definitely my buddy when it comes to those sorts of days. And then also learning confidently, it can really guide and support students in learning, right? They can ask it questions and make sure they're even on the right track about whatever it is that they're trying to learn at that given moment. It's almost like a personal tutor to them too. So with that being said, what is so exciting is that we are basically announcing our Gemini education offering. So this will be available to you, and actually this is available now, the one that I'm sharing, and the next thing is going to be coming soon. But basically Gemini for Workspace, some of you may have purchased or been using Gemini Enterprise. We're bringing this to the education sphere. It will be priced a little bit differently, but it's still the Gemini workspace that you know and love. So this tool will essentially follow you around your workspace tools. So in Docs, for example, it will come up on the side and you can ask it questions and use your sort of Gemini experience within the tool that you're using. In Google Slides, you may have been testing it with creating images, in Google Sheets, analyzing your data. And we'll also be introducing an enhanced Gemini chat experience, which means you'll be able to use Google Chat as almost your sort of one-stop shop for everything Gen AI. So if you want to find documents that are related to a project that you're working on, you can simply put that in chat. So there are some really, really exciting features coming to that, and to make it a whole encompassing product to follow you around Workspace, and just to make that really seamless and easy when you're using that within Workspace as well. But the thing that I am so excited to share is that we are going to be offering the Gemini Standalone App, which we'll demo in a second, completely free of charge for education customers. And what this means is anyone in your organization that's over 18 will be able to use Gemini. And the even better news is that we will be adding this data protection to it. So we've heard a lot in the market that people were fairly unhappy about the fact that a lot of Gen AI tools had this kind of like paid for data protection model. And we've heard you. And so what we're really excited to announce is that you'll be able to use the Gemini app with those data protections built in. So our basically anything that's put into that for your users that are over 18 won't train our AI models, and it won't be shared with others in the other users or in your institution either. So I just think that's really exciting, and I'm so happy to be able to share that with you. And so as I said, I'll just kind of show you it in two things. So your Gemini kind of app chat experience, the standalone one is free of charge, and then you can buy additional licenses for the Gemini for Workspace, which is Gemini that follows you around the tools that I talked about a second ago. And the introductory pricing, we have discounts available. If you are an Education Plus customer, you have an additional discount on top of that, and you can see the prices for them on the screen. So there'll be essentially two products that you can buy. You'll be able to buy Gemini Education, which gives you a subset of tools that again can follow you around Workspace, and then we've got this premium version for those of you that are really wanting to have that enhanced level of use of AI in Workspace, and there's a different cost to both of those. So essentially there's three products. There's the free version in the Gemini app, there's Gemini Education, and then there's also Gemini Education Premium. So hopefully something that caters for every single one of your use cases.
I think that's amazing, and these products here are brand new, just newly announced, literally this week. So that's fantastic. And what I really love is that for those people that want to go really quickly, those introductory offers are really generous as well. So 20% discount if you wanted to go quickly with Gemini for Workspace, and a 25% discount if you're already an Education Plus customer. So yeah, fantastic.
Thanks, Simon. I'm so excited, and I hope you all are too. And you know where to reach out to if you want any more information on that. With that, I'm gonna Simon, do you want to take over sharing and give us a quick demo? It doesn't have to be a long one, but I thought it would be great to not just have me talk at you for another 5 minutes, but
absolutely, yeah, no problem at all. So hopefully you can see my screen that's coming up. So this is the Gemini app that Kiri was talking about. You can get to it by going to gemini.google.com, and then when it's been enabled within your university domain, you'll be able to use your university accounts to sign into it and have all of those data protections elements that we've been talking about as well. So I just one thing that lecturers could particularly use on the fly Gemini for. We know that different students learn in different ways, and sometimes you want to be able to reach out and engage your students, but being able to pivot quickly to a specific type of learner is difficult to do on the fly. So I've just come up with a prompt just to think about how we can get our students maybe to think about concepts within a particular subject. So I've come up with a concept and I've added some context. So from the perspective of a university lecturer, come up with a thought exercise to help students understand some of the principles behind quantum theory. By the way, for the record, I do not know anything about quantum theory, and I do not know why I picked this, but I did. So let's go. So we can see that Gemini is going to come up with a thought experiment for us here. So what's Gemini come up with? Brilliant. So it's said that it's given us a little bit of a background, talking about the concepts between superpositions and the differences between wave-particle duality. We've probably may have heard of Schrodinger's cat, and it's given us a twist on that by the looks of things. So yeah, we've got here an exercise that maybe a university lecturer or you guys as faculty might want to bring into one of your particular lectures with your students. So the point we're making, and this could be any subject and any type of learner, by adding the context in there, so adding in the context of being a university lecturer, we could even add different ways that different sorts of students think. So we could say, how could I explain to a visual learner about the concept of quantum theory or whatever it may be? And Gemini is a really good collaboration partner to help us to come up with thinking about these concepts, but maybe coming at them from different angles that we can do. So it's a really good way of being that thought partner for us to be able to tackle problems in that way. And of course, it is a productivity supercharger as well. If we need to come up with some content or something written out and we really struggle with a blank page, well, Gemini can be a super partner for that as well. So that's the Gemini app. Hopefully that explains what that's about. We also do have, as we mentioned in those 2 new product codes, the ability to put Gemini across our core Google Workspace applications. So by having a Google Doc open, we can see here how we can use Gemini across directly within Workspace. So here we have a Google Doc, and by pressing the Help Me Write button, well, again, then I can start to build in a prompt. I could ask it to write me a letter, or I could ask it to help me come up with some copy for what I need to do, or get me started on some essay works. Likewise, it works across sheets as well. So I could ask it to come up with an agenda if we were planning something for our particular faculty, and we wanted it to help to plan the day out. Then we can just fill our prompts in here. So perhaps we could say, plan a training day for university faculty all about Google Workspace for education.
You might just need to get tab over, Simon, because we can only see you.
My apologies. There we go. Thank you. So I'll put plan of training day for a university faculty all about Google Workspace for education. Please include a segment to focus on AI. So we can see how Gemini can be a really good productivity partner for us here as well. And it's going to come up with an agenda. And so the time that it would take us to kind of come up with all of this sort of format and the different areas is significant. So getting Gemini to do the heavy lifting for us is absolutely fantastic. And then likewise in slides, we can create images on the fly for our presentations just by using the button here to help me visualize. I should have had the tab open already, but within Gemini, we see there a good example. We can type a prompt in there, and the example below is a Scottish fold cat wearing a red scarf portrait photography. So whatever your mind can visualize, you can type in a prompt and get that brought into your slide presentation. So just a few things demonstrated there with Gemini. And how that can help you with the Gemini app itself, which you can get for free, or across your workspace tools by using some of the additional add-on SKUs that are available.
One of my favorite features that we've had access to in our Google domains for a while now is Notetaking and Meet. And that's one of the advanced Gemini features coming out to the premium Gemini education SKU. So I think that's really exciting because do you know how, like, I love taking notes in a meeting and how much effort it has saved me, because I can just click a button and not only does it take the notes, but it summarizes the notes for me as well. And also something that when I told someone this the other day, I'll tell you what they said, but what is also coming to me is that you'll be able to get Gemini to attend a meeting for you. And then there was a bit of a joke that I had with the team, because then they were like, but none of us would go to the meeting. So the meeting would basically just be run by Gemini. Obviously, that probably isn't, maybe cancel that meeting and do it another time. But I think, if maybe you're unwell or you've had to go and run an errand or something like that, and you just want to know a summary of what's happened in that meeting, you can get Gemini to attend. You can pre-populate your questions beforehand. They will come up during the meeting so people can answer them. And also it'll obviously give you a summary of what's happened in that meeting as well. So I think, and obviously this is like the start of Gen AI built into the tools. Like, just think about what this tool set will look like next year and the year after. I think it's really exciting about where we're going to go with this. So yeah, that's my personal favorite anyway.
I think it's incredible, right? Yeah, eventually we're just going to get two AI assistants talking to each other with all of the questions that we've preloaded. It's absolutely bananas. Also, thank you for watching, and thank you very much indeed for coming along with us on this AI journey. So I just wanted to there we go, to say, look, we'd love to get in touch with you. We'd love to chat to you about how you can get started as at your university with AI and with Google Workspace for Education and Chrome and all of the other amazing tools that Google have built for education. So please do get in contact with us. The GTech team is here ready and willing to go. We're also going to be sending out more information over the coming days about particular programs that we're launching around AI to get you started with AI, which will include some trial licenses that you can start with, some training to go along with it, so that you can really start to see how Gemini could fit with you as a university. But for now, we'd just like to say thank you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for going along with us on this journey. And we will no doubt speak to you soon. Thank you, Kiri.
Thanks, Simon. Bye.